Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy podcast, your source for nerddom news and commentary. I am your host and superior webhead master, Jarod Bachman-Stubbs. And before we jump right into the show, I just want to say, in the link for this show, as it was in the link, or in the description rather, for this show, this past week's Knights of the Nerd Republic, and we'll be up for the bonus episode that's coming out on Thursday that I'll be talking about in a moment. And probably will be up in the descriptions for a minute, provided to us by Bill Sheehy from Skywalking Through the League. We have a link to some of the relief funds for the insane tornadoes that kind of tore through the South here in the States. So if you guys can spare a little dough to that, like I said, it's in the description for the most recent Knights of the Nerd Republic. It's in the description for this one. It's probably just going to be in the description for the foreseeable future, just so that it's there. So yeah, please be sure to help out in any way you can. Travis isn't here yet. Probably will be by the end of the episode. Who knows? We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants and freeballing it like we always do. But nonetheless, I do have somebody to talk to because God knows I'm not a good solo act. We have Armin from the comic book cast.
I like that you said I'm not a good solo act, because you know what's a good solo? Solo, a Star Wars story. Hashtag make Solo 2 or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because so Travis was super far behind on Hawkeye. And like I was kind of getting the vibe from Travis that he wasn't planning on watching Hawkeye until like it was all out. And I was like, well, I am sure going to need somebody to talk about this show with on this podcast. I know Armin's. Well, I'll hit up Armin. It'll be a fun little, last non-Spiderman episode because God knows we're about to have a bunch in a row between the prediction cast that I did with Mitch, which will be out Thursday, so you can take us to the theater with you. Get that little appetizer before watching the movie. But I was like, yeah. And then Travis was like, oh, yeah, I'm completely caught up on Hawkeye. I'm like, okay, cool. We all have a conversation about Hawkeye together. And Travis is slightly late now. And it's okay. It happens. I've completely slept through entire recording sessions and woke up 2 hours after we were supposed to record to several texts. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm bad at this. I have no excuse. I'm sleepy. But yeah, so we're going to do it a little backwards from how we normally do the show, and we're going to start with Hawkeye Talk. So, Armin, how are you feeling about Hawkeye so far? We're on the eve at time of record of our next episode. This will be out at noon today anyway, but we're on the eve of our penultimate episode. How are we feeling?
So I don't know if it's controversial to say it, but this is what I hoped more MCU TV shows would be like. And this is up there with Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me in terms of what I wanted. I know, you had Mitch on and he's the more cosmic guy and everything. I like the grounded human, when they get punched in the head, oh, they're going to feel that tomorrow instead of, oh, they got laser blasted through reality. Yeah, they're fine. I like the more human approach to it. So this show does a lot of what I really wanted and hoped it would do. And it's probably the most Netflix feeling of the show so far.
That's true.
Marvel TV feeling. And I appreciate that from it. And I do think it started off a little slow and they're playing into the mystery a little too long. Oh, the watch. Just tell us what's on the watch. Whose is it? Stop beating around the bush. It's there's a little too much of the secrecy that I think Marvel Studios is now just holding on to reveal at the end of the second to last episode way too much. Like, it's a pattern. You know exactly what episode of every series is going to reveal what the buildup has been. And that's kind of like, stop doing that. And I'm feeling the burn with this one. Like, I told Mitch, this was the first show I woke up and I was watching. I was like, I feel a little burnt out because I kind of know the flow. And this series is, again, reaffirming what I thought. It's like, I know exactly when they're going to drop the reveal. And then going into the last episode, it's all, oh my God, oh my God. And you put it right there. The show is not called Hawkeye, not Kingpin. Well, guess what's going to happen at the end of this week's episode, apparently. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a pattern. But again, I do love the show overall. That's my only big criticism is I think they're falling into a formula. Like, people say, oh, there's an MCU film formula. There really isn't, but there's definitely an
No.
MCU TV formula.
I was just about to say that. Like, I've never understood the formula for the movies, where it's like the formula you're referring to is a consistent sense of humor.
Yeah.
This, like, there absolutely is a formula, and I I love how the watch, like, unlike the weird what's going on in the show thing, it's been kind of like the watch plot has like vanished for the last like 3 episodes until right here when he's on the phone with definitely Mockingbird,
Uh-huh.
Velma Bird. But yeah, no, I agree with you completely. It goes back to like the thing that I've been most anxious about No Way Home about, where it's I am really afraid that the MCU is going to turn into this like self-referential nostalgia circle jerk,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it's like, okay, now that we have everything consolidated, you remember this thing that we did 8 years ago? Do you remember this thing from 4 years ago? And not in like the way that they've been really good about doing that up to this point, where it's like, oh yeah, like this character shows up in the movie, and if you want to know more about that character, go watch the movie they're in. Where this is like weirdly dancing around Kingpin.
Yeah. Oh,
Like, it
like,
hurts.
have you read the comic that it's based on? Like the Matt Fraction run? Because like
I've not in its entirety. It's one of those like I know the story.
Okay.
Like I have read about it and have like read what happens in it, but I have not like picked it up myself and physically read it.
That's fair enough because this show has essentially adapted that. They literally have the entire thing from it. The only thing they've done is remove all the Kingpin references from the comic and are saving a reveal for the end. So you're like, wait, like the auction scene, it's in there. Like that's in the comic, but they just took Wilson Fisk out of it. And I'm like, you're really approaching this in a weird way, but I do appreciate it because I do love that comic. I love the Matt Fraction run. So I don't know, it's interesting. I want to see how this plays out, you know?
Yeah, and it's just like I don't see what the use. I see what the use is. It's because it's going to be a big moment on Twitter, and everyone's going to talk about it. And you and me and everybody else who has a show like this is going to spend an entire week talking about Kingpin.
Yep.
You know, like Disney has cracked a very specific, like superconducting loop with how they do these shows,
Mm-hmm.
and it's genius. But like you said, I'm already feeling the burn on it as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm loving the content of these shows, but this format and this formula is murder at this point.
Yeah, it's and you know that
like I
burn
think
for
the
me is
only
real.
one that switched it up slightly was Loki, because Loki did their big like shocking what we've all been building to at the halfway point.
With the that's the removal of the like the lizard people had, and they're like, wait, they're robots or whatever, and they're like, wait, but at the end you're getting King, yeah. So, and again, it was still that formula, like, I get why they do it.
Variation on it,
yeah. You know, I get why they do it. Like CW TV shows have been doing it for the DC ones as well. It's like you know that the 14th through 16th episode of The Flash is going to reveal the twist. You just know it, so just don't bother watching anything after.
Barry's new friend is an evil version of him who runs fast.
Oh, I am shook. You know, it's like, come on. Like, It is a little
Now here
bit
come
of
the
that.
lightsabers.
I was about to say we should gonna start chanting Duel of the Fates over here.
Yeah.
But overall, no, I'm
Duel
loving this
buried.
show. Oh,
Duel of the Fate, harder than you ever have before. I see. I wasn't fast enough. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm saving it, but I wasn't scrolled fast enough to try to click on the new audio drop while we were discussing the Flash. But yeah, like I said, I'm slightly burnt. Again, the watch subplot kind of just vanished, and I'm cool. Like I get it, but it's like the watch subplot mixed with the fact that like the uncle.
yeah.
We must be careful of uncle. Like, just say Mr. Fisk. I feel like there would be more dramatic tension. Like, talk about him, show him limitedly. I think again, we haven't seen the full show yet. Obviously, there's still 2 episodes left to go. But my prediction is that once we have all of Hawkeye, one of the best ways you could improve it is to go back and like if you were to like redo the show, you treat Fisk like the shark in Jaws.
See, I was gonna say the same thing. Like that's exactly what I felt. Honestly, like I'm glad we're on that same wavelength because again the whole
like
mystery
show
of
him.
exactly.
Don't pretend he's not there. But like you don't have to have a scene where every time Hawkeye like blows up a warehouse or like beats the shit out of Echo, that you cut back to Kingpin and he's giving a full monologue about when I was a boy, like you don't have to like cut back to him every time something happens, but like allude to his being there.
See,
shoot him from the back, like show him, just don't introduce us to him.
I agree with that. And honestly, I would have even liked it if the show began with 7 days from now and we see them two locked up, shackled up, and somebody standing there, the silhouette of him, right? And he's like, so how did we get here? In that Wilson Fisk voice, and then flash back and tell us the story chronologically, because it's being played out chronologically, and then get to the end reveal where he's like, so you might know me as Mr. Fisk, the kingpin of crime. That would have worked because there's still a mystery, and you're like, is it really? They could have done something different, but again, like I get it. I get why they did it this way, and ultimately, for other people, it's going to be a big deal. Like for my dad, who's going to watch the show, who has no idea who the uncle is, I know he's going to call me in a very rare instance and be like, "Wait, is that the guy from Dare? Oh my God, is this happening?" And he's going to see Spiderman with me. He's going to be blown away. It's for people like that, but for us, we're like, stop honey dicking us. Just show us his bald head, damn it. Like,
show us his bald head. And there's like an added level of frustration this time around because Vincent D'Onofrio has done not a goddamn thing to hide it.
No.
like he liked the tweet that broke the story he was going to be in Kingpin, or he was going to be in Hawkeye. I literally just did my name. He's going to be in Hawkeye. And then like whenever, like the day before it came out, I sure do like these Marvel Studios television shows.
Yeah.
You should tune in. I was like, come on, Vincent. We're not stupid, man.
I think right now, like, I believe he's living the character's life, and he's like, if Feige tells me not to do it, I'm just gonna bash his head in with a door. So what's he gonna do? Tell me to not spoil it?
Oh my God, he's doing with Fisk what James Gandolfini did with Tony Soprano.
Yes,
where he's just like convinced that he is Wilson Fisk. When they're done pretending they're not in things, like he'll see Charlie Cox at like a Marvel premiere and it'll be on site. And poor like tiny British ass Charlie's gonna be like, run, Vincent. Anyway.
He sees him at the fish market and just throws him through the like through the stands. It's like, what's going on here?
With the same like he's charging at him.
It's okay. Uncle D'Onofrio's just gone off his meds. It's good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying it. This last episode was really good. I love me some parallels to talk about the actual episode, not just how the show has been going. I really like the way that, to quote a great man, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Damn it.
Stay Bombad, y'all. I really like the way that Hawkeye or that Clint tells Kate the story about, the greatest shot, the one that he never took, is mirrored here by Kate, like, showing Yelena mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we see the beginning of the relationship of this Hawkeye and this Black Widow, like, repeating history in the same way that Yelena, whenever she throws Kate off the roof, like, she hooks a carabiner to her the same way Nat did to Clint in Endgame. And like there are just all of these parallels in the way that, Yelena and Kate fight each other. It was very like, it didn't beat you over the head with the symmetry in the storytelling, and I really appreciated that. It was a very subtle, understated, like, moments of both of them showing mercy to each other the way that Clint and Nat did before them,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was really sweet, and I enjoyed it a lot. I also, like the most overt moment, obviously, being the Vormir Soulstone music, which
Yeah.
was oh boy. Yeah. Oh, all in all, I think it was a really good episode. Yeah, I liked the LARPers a lot the first time.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm as into them a second and third time.
I get why they're there. They're gonna reveal to Clint, oh, you can have friends outside of just this, and like I get their plot there, but it's like if they weren't there, it wouldn't really impact the whole lot. But they're there because they're the MCU show formula. They're those characters. So again,
We are one really bad depiction of neurodivergency away from it being Big Bang Theory bad, though. Like, the LARPers, I'm sorry, like, that's all that's missing in
yeah,
this, like Grill. Thank God he was as charismatic in that one scene.
yeah.
Like, that he saved that. Other than that, it's the same, like, oh, we're nerds and we don't know how to engage with reality. Uh,
Yeah, at any
which is
moment
just
you're waiting for them to be like, "Are you just gonna say Bazinga already? Just say
right.
Bazinga, please. Just say it. It's
Just
like get it over with."
get it over with. Please say Bazinga.
Oh, damn it! Yeah, I
Um,
did feel that as well.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, we're on the eve of the next episode. I'm like I said, aside from like the things that are slightly grating in the format, I'm enjoying it. I like it a
Mhm.
lot. Um, I just hope that what we're talking about is the content of the episode and not just the appearance of a single character.
Yeah,
Like,
same. Yep.
ever since Luke and the Mandalorian, and I love that scene. I love that
Yep.
episode. I think it's my favorite episode of the Mandalorian. Like, it just frustrates me so much. We're like the emotional core of the episode and what facilitates, character we weren't expecting to see to showing up, being like being pushed to the side for the character that showed up. I'm kind of at my wit's end with that.
Same.
Like,
Yep.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier tried to have one of those and it didn't even happen. Like, it was just like the who's the power broker shit, and there was no cameo,
Yeah.
thank God. But
Yeah, boy.
like,
Yeah, that was a thing. They stretched out for a while and nothing.
oh my God. Yeah, this is like nothing burger of like we can tell that it's Sharon. But yeah, I think that's all we have for Hawkeye Talk, unless and until Travis pokes his head in. I got hella tongue tied there. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna put that in there. That's gonna be the drop for whenever I can't speak English. Is just Nick screeching. $10 patron, thank you. Oh man, I'm sure there's some of these stories. Okay, we'll speed run some of these whenever Travis gets in, hopefully. Gotham Knights show.
I was hoping this would be the one.
Not to spam it, but couldn't think of a more appropriate place for that either. Okay. We're just going to go. We're just going to read the article and go from there. It's from Alexandra Del Rosario. Gotham Knights drama and works at the CW from Batwoman team. CW is looking to further build on its DC Comics inspired programming slate with Gotham Knights, a drama in the works from Batwoman executive producers Chad Fazash and James Stroyo. God damn, these are some rough names. This is a rough name week for me. And show's executive story editor Natalie Abrams. The project comes from Greg Berlanti's Berlanti Productions, which is behind the CW's Arrowverse and WBTV, where the company is based. Written by the above creators, save for Berlanti, Gotham Knights is based on the Gotham Knights characters from the DC Comics created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. In the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Cape Crusader. I saved reading the description for the show. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I thought it was gonna. Oh my God! It's not even the Bat Family.
Initially, I saw it like repurposed on other websites because I didn't know Variety dropped it initially. So I was like, "Oh man, the genius synergy here for next fall to reveal both of these and have them come out." And it's like, "Oh my God, you have Barbara over here and Nightwing, and it's cool." And one website even said DCEU expands to the Gotham Knights. And I was like, oh. And then I read the synopsis. I was like, wait a second. And then it hit me what this is. And I saw the perfect description of it. And it's DC's Descendants. And I was like, yeah. Yep. It's gonna look as cheap, if not cheaper. So yeah, that's what it is.
No, you don't understand. My sister's obsessed with Descendants and like had her Descendants fan. So I've seen those movies, and there was a part of me that was like, "This is such a cool concept."
Yeah. Yep.
But like, man, if like this could be done in any other format with like $5 more.
You could. Yeah, and if you could do it like Marvel did it with
20, I could improve this.
Right. And it's like, it's not a bad concept, and I like it. Like, Runaways is great. It's one of my favorite comics from Marvel that takes that approach, children of villains, and they reform. I really like that. But here, I already know what's going to happen. You're going to have the 18-year-old mysterious kind of crazy kid who's going to be like, my father was the Joker, but I'm not going to clown around like him.
Oh, my God. Oh my God, I am so excited for this. This is going to be so fucking funny.
I'm going to watch this out of the pure knowledge that it's going to be so goddamn bad it's going to deliver memes and quotes. Like Gotham, but worse.
Fuck Batman. Oh, this is so funny. See,
okay, I like the idea of thinking like that Nick was reading this, being like, and here's where they're going to announce Red Hood spinoff, right? Red Hood. Mom, give me the gun, damn it. Just
give me the gun.
I'm going to go, I can't handle this. He's just shooting into the air to get my
he's just like in the shower, fully dressed in his Red Hood cosplay, just kind of like doing one of these with the water running over.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try this synopsis again to read the whole thing.
It's so bad.
In the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious... And Bruce isn't dead. We all know Bruce isn't going to be dead. I can tell you right now, Batman's alive. In the wake of Bruce Wayne's... Third try. In the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies. They're all framed for killing the great Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become this next generation of saviors, known as the Gotham Knights. Oh, boy.
Yep.
So, since Dick, Tim, and Jason are all tied up on Titans.
They're all embargoed, boys.
My favorite Robin gets to make his live action debut in this piece of shit. That's so funny. So it's definitely going to be Damian.
Yep.
And they are definitely going to do some of the worst cringy shit they could possibly imagine with any of the connection to the League of Assassins and Ra's al Ghul.
I'm honestly expecting this show to be shot like a TikTok house. And this is the CW, so you know that was an actual pitch, being like, yo, imagine this TikTok house, but get this. Damian Wayne.
We read that Powerpuff Girls screenplay on air. we on air. We read that piece of shit. So part of me wishes it got repurposed here. Okay, so we're gonna get. You know what? I think you're wrong. I don't think we get Joker's son. I think we get Joker's daughter, and we are going to get like the worst version of Harley Quinn. Like in that. Like they're going to do Joker's daughter, but the way they're going to write her is I've never read I've never seen or read anything to do with Harley Quinn but Suicide Squad 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to be like ass cheeks and daddy's little monster.
Yeah.
And just being weirdly sexual with everybody. That's what you get for Joker.
I could honestly see that, yeah. And, they're going to have to play up the thing, being like, she's like, well, I'm worse than my daddy because I'm a girl. Like, they're going to play that up, right? Like, she's like, I can be more cynical and abuse. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that I know how the CW works. I can just see this shit rolling.
This video is going to get taken down because they're going to be like, hey, you guys just like read our script on air.
Who gave you our notes?
It was Nick. Yeah, I'm going to guess Lady Riddler. I'm going to get Riddler's daughter. There's going to be a random deep cut. There's going to be like a random deep cut, like not a silly deep cut like a Condiment King or Calendar or whatever.
White Rabbit.
Yeah.
She is perfect for this because the cheeks and the spillage, it's going to be all about that, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love how, again, like exactly how this is going to be like marketed and handled by CW. It's like, we can just check all the boxes right now.
They're just tossing ideas and Bro Anthony's just snapping his fingers back. Done. Toss that in. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. Don't worry about it.
God, Travis better make it to this show because I cannot wait to like cold read him on the synopsis for this. All right. Moving on to Batman news that doesn't make me want to walk into traffic. If there is such a thing. It's taking a minute. There we go. The Batman. Warner Brothers reportedly tested 2 cuts of the film, including one with a big DC character. This is per Collider. While Spider-Man No Way Home may hold the comic book spotlight for the time being, many viewers are eagerly anticipating Matt Reeves' upcoming The Batman. Robert Pattinson will be the latest actor to don the cape and cowl. Blah, 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 blah. And with just 3 months away from release, wow, we really are that close.
Wow.
Oh, that just hit me. It's 3 months until release. Several sources are reporting the WB is testing 2 cuts of the Batman. One cut containing a major actor who has yet to be revealed. Should go without saying that this needs to be taken with a big grain of salt. Here is what the Hollywood Reporter had to say on the matter. Last month, the internet went a little crazy about Barry Keoghan, best known as Droig in Eternals. Maybe not playing the Joker in Matt Reeves' upcoming The Batman. Don't look to us for answers on that one, but we can tell you this. Multiple sources have told us that Warner Brothers has been testing 2 different cuts of The Batman, one with a certain actor, one without, and the final screening occurred last week with the decision now made as to which version the studio likes, says one source. Now, this does not specify if this is the cut that will have allegedly Druig is the Joker. I think it's an interesting casting choice. I think so. First of all, if that happens, I think that is a good casting choice insofar as it is not something as, Armin, I know in the Facebook group you like to do the like, hey, I have a fan cast no one's ever heard of, and it's like Bryan Cranston is Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh guys, crazy idea. What if Willem Dafoe played the Joker? Which like that would be great, but also it's incredible. Like people are kind of expecting it, and since you've seen like 1,800 different versions of fan art, any version they go with is going to be disappointing.
Yep.
I think going with Druig here as our Joker is a really cool. I think it's a cool choice. I think it gives him a chance to kind of do something new with the character and not be kind of like pushed into a box or pushed into a corner with it. Part of me is kind of, oh, great, another Joker.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me is also kind of into it. Like, I kind of want to see what the Joker would be like in this version of Batman.
So, I'm there with you. Again, Matt Reeves. I mean, look, this film has been one of my most highly anticipated over just about everything that's been coming out from either side. This film, strangely enough, draws a lot of strange parallels to Batman Begins, which is my top 3 comic book film of all time. Like, people don't know this and they constantly go, oh, MCU fanboy. I like Batman Begins more than every single MCU film, just so people are aware of that. Like, I love Batman Begins. And this film draws a lot of parallels. Director nobody expects gets the job. Actor nobody expects gets the job. It's not a Joker film. And coincidentally enough, I know a lot of people are going to be too young to know this, and this was back in the day. They tested Batman Begins with the addition of a Joker scene at the end and without it. And the Joker scene won with the card. And that went out to the press, and that's what ended up being the final cut of the film. Originally, it just ended and there was no hint towards Joker. So if they're going to follow that and try to do it, I just hope, and this is my ultimate hope, reveal the Joker at the end and set him up for a sequel that maybe starts off another week in Batman, right? Because this is supposed to be like a week that Batman is after this crime, trying to figure out what the Riddler is up to and everything. Maybe the second film picks up right off of there, but don't pull a Arkham Origins where you tell us it's all this other stuff, it's this, and then you get into it and you find out it's all a Joker story and the marketing was off. I don't want the Joker to be the overall focus of the entire thing when they just hid it from us. I think that would take away from what makes this film look unique, which is Riddler, which looks like he would give the Joker a run for his money for insanity and violence, which, like, then what's the Joker got to be like in this universe if this is the Riddler? Like, at this point, I'm expecting Joker to be like, Gotham? No, I'm holding the planet ransom. I put a bomb in the center of it. What now, Batman? Like, it's like, bro, come on. Like,
that's just injustice.
Yeah.
I see. This is I agree with you. The thing that's kind of like helping me rest easy with that worry is the fact that it sounds like it's only one scene that's getting discussed here. And that helps me kind of rest my mind. That like, okay, this isn't gonna, like you said, like Arkham Origins. This is gonna kind of like pull the rug out from under you. Boom, Joker story. Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
Do that. So this is interesting stuff. Keep your eyes out for how that might pan out. Oh god, I hate this. I have like a can of soda, and now I'm like all burpy and shit.
Oh yeah.
I never used to be that way. I'm getting older. I mean,
oh, trust me, I know that.
The Game Awards happened this past weekend for a pretty much entire episode long discussion about Star Wars Eclipse. Go listen to the most recent episode of Knights of the Nerd Republic if you haven't. We got We'll be talking about Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman individually. But to do a quick rundown of things that got announced at the Game Awards, we have Alan Wake 2, Forspoken, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Sense's Saga, Hellblade 2, stuff for the Halo show, Elden Ring, Sonic Frontiers, Slitterhead, Lord of the Rings, Gollum,
Jesus.
of course, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, a virtual reality version of Among Us, Star Trek Resurgence, Arc Raiders, new creator safe music from Riot Games as well. The Matrix Resurrections Awakens stuff, which is fun. Rumbleverse, a Telltale The Expanse. I thought Telltale was out of business.
They reformed. They've been hyping up the return with more bigger blockbuster and serious storytelling. And if you're gonna get the look, I heard it's a Telltale game.
Telltale Star Wars. As you were saying.
Like, I heard Telltale. I'm like, you got me. And then the opening cinematic starts, and I look at my wife. I'm like, if this is The Expanse, you better just get ready to hear me squeal. And I heard the first line of dialogue. I was like, that's your drummer. That's your Expanse. Like, dude, I was freaking out during this trailer because The Expanse is one of my absolute all-time favorite sci-fi things in recent history. Like, it is so good. I advise everybody to go watch it on Amazon. They spare no expense on that budget. It looks like Hollywood production, big budget films, and it's a real approach. Like, gravity affects how they move. Like, they go hardcore into it. So I'm super hyped for this.
Yeah, that looks interesting. That's a very good pairing right there. We also have Tunic, Homeworld 3, Crossfire X, Nightingale, some stuff for PUBG Battlegrounds, more Cuphead, the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Thirsty Suitors, and Dune Spice Wars.
Yeah, so Dune Spice Wars and Homeworld 3, they got me on both of those. Real-time strategy games on PC made for hardcore sim nerds. Like, Homeworld is like, hey, you're the last survivor of your homeworld. Trek across the entire universe and find a new suitable home. There's going to be raiders, randomly generated things. You got to manage resources on these giant capital ships. Go. And I'm like, yes, this is what I like. And that's kind of going to be like what Doom sounds like. It's going to be a real-time strategy, intergalactic, like essentially Civ in Dune. And I'm set. Like, I'm a hardcore PC gamer, so those types of games have always been a root of my gaming history. So I'm hyped.
Sounds like good shit. Talking about the stuff that is specific to this show, we got a gameplay trailer for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and a cinematic reveal trailer for Wonder Woman.
So first up, congrats, WB. You were finally able to utilize the CG from the film for a video game, and now it looks like it belongs somewhere. So good job on that. Nah, that's definitely an indictment of your terrible CG in those films. So
this bitch.
But scathing from Armin, damn.
I will say though, I am super hyped for this game, especially learning that they're using the Lord of the Rings technology with the Nemesis system. That sounds incredible. So I am hyped for this. I cannot wait to play this.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. The Nemesis stuff is really cool, and I enjoy that. I mean, there's nothing to really go off of for Wonder Woman except for the fact that we're getting it, you know? Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, however, is slowly winning me over.
Yeah, I'm sold on this.
Yep. Like, the first trailer, I was like, because, like, whenever it got revealed at Fandom last year, you know, there was this weird whiplash where it felt like we just got this really cool spot, an interview with James Gunn and all the cast of the Suicide Squad. And I was like, this already feels like such a marked improvement from 2016.
Yeah.
And then we see the trailer for this game, and I'm like, and why does it feel like I'm back in 2016 immediately? And as more and more stuff has come out with this, the more and more into it I'm getting. This most recent gameplay trailer, like you said, completely sold me.
I mean, if you look at this gameplay, it reminds me of Insomniac's Sunset Overdrive, and that was my game of the year that year. So, like, this looks like they amped up the ridiculous, play it up. It's set in the Arkhamverse for what that's worth, which isn't really much because this doesn't even look like it belongs. But this just looks like you're
No.
going to be able to sit down with a couple of friends online, play as these 4 characters, and essentially have a amazing time being in this world, fighting Superman, the Flash, and whoever. And the energy in the trailer reminds me more of James Gunn than anything David Ayer, which is always a positive. So everything
Yeah.
about this, everything I saw about this game, I was iffy going into it. But now I'm like, I don't need to see anything else. I just want this thing. Like, I'm going into it blind from this point on out. So I'm hyped.
Yeah, same here. I'm very excited for this. I feel like they're only telling us it's in the Arkhamverse so they can do a Batman reveal.
Same. Yep.
Which, like, it's gonna be hard, especially considering this and Gotham Knights probably gonna come out within a year of each other. And both games are gonna have a big reveal where you fight Batman. But whatever. So yeah, I'll do a quick rundown of the winners here, and then we can go into our what I think will be our last story. Unfortunately, Travis wasn't able to make it. It looks like, but it happens. It be like that sometimes.
That's how it is. That's life.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes. I'm just glad I had the lovely incomparable Armin here to pick up the slack. Game of the year went to It Takes Two. Game direction went to Deathloop. Best narrative went to Guardians of the Galaxy.
That game
Best
is
art
so
direction.
underrated. Oh.
It's on the list of stuff I'm getting once I have a PlayStation. For best art direction, Deathloop. Best score music was Near Replicant. Best audio design, Forza Horizon 5. Best performance went to Maggie Robinson in Resident Evil Village. Games for impact went to Life is Strange True Colors. Best ongoing story was Final Fantasy Online. Oops. Fix that here. I can never tell if you guys hear that, but sometimes it sounds like I have a robot voice on my side and I gotta fix it. But I can never tell if it bleeds through or not. Best indie game, Kena Bridge of Spirits. Best debut indie game, Kena Bridge of Spirits. Best mobile game was Genshin Impact. Best community support, Final Fantasy Online. Best VR/AR, Resident Evil 4. Innovation and accessibility, Forza Horizon 5. Best action game, Returnal.
Yeah.
Best action adventure went to Metroid Dread. Best RPG was Tales of Arise. Best fighting game went to Guilty Gear Strive. Best family game was It Takes Two. Racing went to Forza Horizon 5. Best sim/strategy, Age of Empires 4. Best multiplayer, It Takes Two. Content creator of the year went to Dream. Best esports athlete went to Oklesender Simple Koitstiev. Best esports coach went to Kim Yong-yun. Best esports event was 2021 League of Legends Championship. Best esports game was League of Legends. I can hear Levi screaming somewhere. Best esports team was Natus Vincere, CSGO. Most anticipated game went to Elden Ring. Yeah. So that was how the Game Awards shook out. Also, real quick, now that we got all the news part of that out of the way, if you want to slap Activision Blizzard on the wrists and actually if you want to give them something more than slapping them on the wrist, remove their nominations and strip them of awards.
Yep.
We're not inviting them, but they're still nominated everywhere. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And I say this as somebody who's playing the new Call of Duty. I'm not going to put down Call of Duty because I have a lot of game developer friends. We just kind of
Yeah,
like this area. And they actively told me, two of them work at Activision. Do not punish Activision by not buying our game because that actively hurts us and we will get fired for less sales. So, it, it- it's a bad place to be in, but some of these studios, especially them, yeah, you know, IGN, they talk about Call of Duty and stuff. They're happy to promote it and the new Warcraft and stuff. And always at the bottom, they're like, there's also a little problem with Activision. It's like, no, 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 no. Stand your ground. Either don't talk about them at all and address it in everything, or admit that you're doing this because you like the clicks and the monetary and your boss has told you to. It's kind of
yeah.
disgusting, honestly. Like it's, ugh,
Yeah, a lot of Star Wars creators are having a similar moment right now with Star Wars Eclipse.
yeah.
Exactly what you said. There's a part of me that recognizes I'm going to be hurting the little guy more than I'm helping the big guy on a certain level. Um, I have also had a very righteous indignation of, as a queer Star Wars fan, you don't get to keep my favorite era away from me, you son of a bitch.
Mhm.
But also, I can't blame anybody who's trying to boycott Quantic Dream
Yeah.
and Star Wars Eclipse either. Um,
And this is one of those
the
things, like you said it, Quantic Dream. There's a lot of stuff, I'm pretty sure we don't want to go into the laundry list of how many disgusting things David Cage has
yeah,
done, but
yeah,
there's legit people that work there that they're innocent and they're, don't take it out on them. And also Quantic Dream has made some of my favorite games of all time. So I can't,
yeah,
but I'm going to address the issue that David Cage is an absolute garbage human being. So
yeah. And it's so hard, that and then this is part of the conversation we had on the most recent episode of KNR, was that there's this profoundly toxic culture baked in to games culture,
Mhm.
that every company has some type of horrific story that comes out.
Yeah.
Every company, there's some type of here is this comically hateful thing this CEO or this whatever said. Um, it's just incredibly it goes beyond the pale.
It it's become
Um,
so common now that you hear it, you're like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, that happens. Yep, that's cool. What's next?" Like, it's like, and I hate to compare it to this, but 15 years ago, you heard of a shooting somewhere, like a school or something, you were shocked. Now it happens, you're like, "Oh, it must be a Tuesday. Let's move on with our
yeah,
lives."
there is a numbness that it's like, okay, here's the latest in a long line of just absolutely heinous things that make your toes curl.
Yeah.
Um, Same thing here. We're yeah, I think the thing that was so jarring about Quantic Dream was the fact that that they pulled this insane hat trick of sexual misconduct, absurd racism, and queer hatred.
Mhm.
Where normally when you hear about these kinds of horrible stories, Activision Blizzard is mostly under fire because of sexual misconduct.
Right.
Or you'll hear about this studio where oh, there was some really weird racist shit happening behind the scenes, or something weird with how there's normally it's one of those. I think the thing that smacked everybody in the mouth with Quantic Dream was the fact that they managed to be here is us doing all of the horrible things that you can do in this industry.
Yeah.
And then, hey, can I lie under oath? No, you can't, David Cage. That's why you're under oath, you son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
Mike. Uh, and honestly, I am in shock that Disney, knowing all this very publicly, after how they treated James Gunn for some terrible humor tweets, would have all this in the
Yeah.
public light and be like, he's a great choice and that company's great. It's like, you guys do realize who you're talking to, right? Like, this is one of the most despicable studios in the history of gaming. What are you doing?
I mean, take it a step further, even in the wake of the Gina Carano stuff,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it's all, I don't know what the solution is. I would I would take a solid guess at everybody who listens to this podcast, who's involved in this kind of geek nerd culture stuff, also plays video games to one extent or another, and I just don't know how to process the desire to want to affect change and boycott where we're the only people being punished for it,
Right.
for wanting to do something about it. It's just really disappointing and disaffecting. But to maybe bring things up a little bit at the end here, quick little story I included because I thought it was funny. Apparently, Tom Holland farted on Zendaya because the suit's too tight and the harness squeezed him, and I think that's really funny. Eternals is coming on to Disney Plus on the 12th.
Oh,
And
yay! I cannot wait to watch.
shut your mouth. Mitch paid me to do that. If you say that, got a little, I got a couple pounds from him for it. It's fine. I bumped you out. I made 4 "Hey, you're British, shut up" jokes whenever he was on Sunday. So, we have some of our first reactions to Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah.
We're gonna flip through some of these. So yeah, Variety chief film critic Peter DeBruge called the blockbuster a clever meta adventure, adding that audiences who have tuned out of Spider-Man films along the way will be rewarded. Who will be rewarded for giving this one a shot? Somehow, Travis has returned.
And tell you what, it was 8:45, and I said, I'll give myself 5 more minutes. And then I opened my eyes, and I was like, oh, it's only 55. Perfect. That says 9:55.
Okay, Travis, speed round. Thoughts on Hawkeye?
Did you know it's out?
Yeah, it is out now. Yeah.
Yeah, insane. 4 episodes. Nuts. Really enjoying it so far. Excited to see where they go with big man with big hand, as it were. I will say some of the stuff with Kate and her family feels awkward to me, but maybe that's because I don't understand rich people.
Yeah, that can do it.
So I'm going to count that as intentional.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool beans.
Very
I like
fun
it.
so far.
Travis, did you hear about the new Gotham Knights TV show?
No.
Oh,
Cool. So, I'm going to give you the synopsis real quick. I'm going to do it every time CW comes up from now on. You're getting your money's worth, Nick. Gotham Knights is based on the Gotham Knights characters from the DC Comics, created by Bill Finger, Tom Kane. In the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Caped Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors, known as the Gotham Knights. This is for the CW.
So we already have some very confusing branding.
Oh man, I hope everybody's watching this episode closely enough to watch the light leave Travis's eyes. When I said that,
I haven't watched. I watched the season premiere of Superman and Lois, and I enjoyed that. I've heard it's been very good.
it's absolutely amazing.
Besides that, I haven't watched any CW in 2 seasons. I gotta admit, I think my life's a lot better for it. Eventually, I want to go back and watch Superman and Lois. But
Gotta go watch the lightsaber duel episode of The Flash.
yeah, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
It's good because I brought it up like 3 times. Because I can't help myself.
This whole synopsis is a scenario where you're like, somehow Berlanti keeps getting work. Somehow. That's this
Yeah.
whole synopsis. Like, how does this dude keep working?
It's like Armin put it very funny earlier. He was like, "This is Descendants for DC villains," and it's true. Where the whole premise is just we're the kids, and I told him I was like,
It's the other half of Gotham.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Gotham
the
was
other half of Gotham.
the like early and like parent versions of all the villains, and now it's their kids.
The thing that I hate the most about this is since Dick, Tim, and Jason are all taken up on Titans right now, the only one who can be a rebellious son left is Damian. So my favorite Robin's live action debut is going to be this shit.
You really would. Okay, but it's probably still going to be better than if it was in Titans.
In Titans, he'd get to cut someone's head off with a sword at least once. I'll take Damian being
No,
hyper
he
violent over
wouldn't.
CW writing.
But in Titans, it's going to be drowned out by blue filter and such bad lighting that you would think a porno did this. And that's actually an insult to pornos because I've seen them do better lighting and scripting. So, god damn. Titans, you remember last time I was on, we talked about Titans. I was like, I'm excited to see where it goes. Literally the next episode, it took such a turn, I never went back because it got so terrible. Like,
Yeah, pretty
I think
much
that's what
saying
happened to us too.
we couldn't do it. We couldn't go back. It took me getting involved, but I pulled Travis away from Titans finally. Hopping over to the story you arrived for, Travis, we are talking early reactions to No Way Home. Seems to be the general consensus. So back to the Variety article. IGN's Amelia Emberwing hailed the film as a perfect harmony of a Saturday morning cartoon and a deep drama that we've come to expect from these epics. This is like the first not great review I've seen. Was saying that it's a very regressive fan servicey Spider-Man Legacy sequel that's overly nostalgic for its heydays, comparing the film to the Into the Spider-Verse. Said that it's nowhere near as successful or inventive as the other multiversal Spidey flick. The Daily Beast is calling it MCU's best Spidey movie by a mile. We have Eric Davis. Just lost my place. Sensei, I can confidently say Spider-Man No Way Home is the best live-action Spider-Man movie. A thrilling and emotional end to the Homecoming trilogy, but also a smart, fun, and exciting tribute to 20 years of Spider-Man movies, both hilarious and heartbreaking. I honestly loved every second. Alex Zelbin said, hashtag Spider-Man No Way Home shockingly works by keeping focused on Tom Holland's Spider-Man front and center. It's still packed with fan service and pays off nearly 20 years of movies, but most of it's all funny, fun, and often extremely emotional. Stay spoiler-free as long as possible. Tessa Smith, Spider-Man No Way Home didn't meet my expectations. It exceeded them. This movie is worth every excruciating moment we had to wait. The visuals, the score, the heart, the story, the villains, the epic. Talk about an epic creation, tears, chills, happiness. Hector Navarro, Spider-Man No Way Home is one of the best superhero movies of all time. It continuously proves over and over again why Peter Parker is the greatest fictional character ever. I am seeing overwhelming praise here. One that I want to call attention to, Travis, you also follow William the Beast Bibiani on the Bird app. And I'm sure you have seen that he is not exactly a big MCU fan. It's not really his cup of tea.
The vibe I get.
Which, to each their own. Here is the first response from the Beast. Spider-Man No Way Home is the first live-action Spidey movie since Raimi left the series that actually seems to grasp what Spider-Man is all about. The fan service is a hoot. There's a lot of it, but I'm generally pleased that there's a great Spider-Man story being told here. No spoilers, but this is a movie about why it really stinks to be Spider-Man and about how important it is to accept personal responsibility and do the right thing, especially if it's your own mess that needs cleaning up, and especially if it's hard. In any case, gimmickry aside, it's great to see an MCU movie that's focused on what superheroes are all about, and particularly one that lets Spider-Man take center stage and propel his own story, instead of feeling like a cog in the MCU machine. Excelsior, I say. So, this is very good news. Resoundingly, it sounds like the fan service is laid on thick, but it's not to the, oh God, this is going to be like, that's going to be the point. So my biggest fear going in here has kind of been all but alleviated. I'm still a little, we'll see what happens, but I like it. I like what I'm hearing a lot so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because we've kind of talked about this too, the idea that they're going to Rise of Skywalker it, right? And I think the difference is that this movie has had this. I think they went into writing and like producing this movie with assuming it's what we think it's going to be, with this idea in mind. That like from start to finish, they always had the idea of multiverse villains coming to fight Spider-Man. Regardless of what else happens in the background that is or is not leaked. Versus the Rise of Skywalker, whatever the Duel of the Fates had a script written and had like concept art ready and they were getting ready to go and then they canned it and then wrote a script off Reddit last minute.
Yeah.
Which like also had me worried because when Spider-Verse, the first, like the animated one came out, remember everyone freaked out and started making the fan posters of Toby and Andrew.
Yep.
Yeah. And everyone was like, this would be insane. And we all went, it'd be neat, but it's not going to happen ever. Don't get your hopes up. And look at us now.
Yeah. And I think it's the fact that this started as a fan pipe dream and now we're here is the biggest reason why I've been nervous. Hey, we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts, Travis? Thoughts on the games that got announced, or like the trailers for Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman?
I haven't seen the trailer for Suicide Squad. I still need to watch it. The Wonder Woman game is being made by the people that made Shadow of Mordor, and that excites me.
See, exact thing I said. That's what excites you.
Yep.
Nope, this is it. It's that team and that mechanic being in this is what's hype.
Yep.
I don't know for certain yet, but there will be a big Spider-Man No Way Home review episode. I do want to try to make it a CBC collab. I do want to try to do it as a live show. Just got to be a matter of scheduling it. So you guys keep your eyes on this space. Thursday, because normally we like to drop our shows at noon. I know Armin has to boogie here in a minute, so I'm trying to speed around some of the housekeeping here. Wednesday, so like Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. when the clock strikes 12, that is when the prediction cast is going to premiere on YouTube. Putting it out the day of, it's Spider-Man Day on Thursday, so hopefully you take Mitch and I with you to the theater and through your day to get your fix, kind of like whet your appetites for No Way Home. Hopefully that you guys enjoy that episode. I had a ton of fun recording it with Mitch. Mitch and I had a lot of fun with that. But yeah, with that, Armin, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
You can find me wherever the hell. It doesn't matter at this point. Just Go to type in Comic Book Cast on Facebook. I never show that that place enough. Go there, and we have our group on Facebook where we talk garbage and listen to Nick convince himself that something's going to be good, and then it's not. Then he has to eat a shoe every time. You can find that. That's pretty fun. So join us there. Watch Nick eat some shoes.
You can find Nick's personal blog in the Comic Book Cast Facebook group.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm kidding. He's such a good sport. That
He
kid,
is.
we beat up on him so much. And I say that knowing that, like, if I had Facebook and if like I knew about the Facebook group when I was his age, when I got into Comic Book Cast, I would have been Nick. Like, I absolutely would have been the one, like, just shooting off at the mouth and then getting clowned on by everybody.
You dodged a good bullet there.
Oh my god! I kept that shit to myself. I say that Travis got to experience all of my my growth, unfortunately for him. Travis, where can the lovely people find you and all that you do, buddy?
They can find my look, everyone deserves to grow out of their childhood hot takes. And no one deserves to have that publicly broadcast, but that's the age we live in. You can find me growing out of mine on Twitter and Instagram at Travis Political.
As it's been very publicly documented now, thanks to Devin, who saw Batman v Superman with me, now there's no pretending that I didn't stand up and go, better than Avengers, leaving the theater, as I had just turned 18 an hour ago upon watching it. But yeah, we all grow. We all become.
It would have been funny if, as the clock struck and you turned 18, suddenly something like switched in your brain. And you went, "Oh wait, this is dog shit."
I'm finally mature enough to realize it. What the hell happened?
Yeah, I think I was about like 20 when I was like, okay, this is bad. This is trash, but it's my trash. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552. And you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our Patreon, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Nick Johnson, Feige's Boomer Burner, Delta 9, Zach Canals, The Waffle Wizard, and Amarayo Shindeo. Be sure to click on the Student Store link where you can check out our TeePublic.
Be sure tpublic.com.
We don't got belts, we got shirts.
Yeah, we don't have belts, we have shirts. It's December, so everything's on sale like perpetually until January. So now is the time to strike. Versus Series tournament stuff will be updated at the end of the week when we'll do the public announcements for everything, and I'll do the explainer video and everything. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching us and not Comic Book Cast somehow, go do that, because they just do what we do, but better because they did it first.
Just go to our SoundCloud. You can get the show, and there you go. Enjoy that. Give us clicks there. SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever the hell it goes. I don't know where.
Only reason I had SoundCloud on my phone for a very long time was CBC. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Armin, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully we have you on for some Spider-Man No Way Home talk.
Oh, I would love to join.
Oh, we look forward to it. And class. Oh yeah, Thursday. Watch/listen to the bonus episode. And class dismissed.
Stop. Move away from the cookie jar.